The massive operation codenamed Spiderweb was in the works for over a year and a half and was greenlit by President Zelensky himself. According to officials, this is the most damaging Ukrainian drone attack of the entire war and is a significant setback for Moscow. The strikes have come on the eve of a fresh round of peace talks in Istanbul. On June 2nd, that is today. Russian media is calling it Russia's Pearl Harbor. Ukrainian drones hit more than 40 Russian aircraft, including Tu-95 and Tu-22 strategic bombers, which Russia uses to fire long-range missiles at Ukraine. The strikes also caused a huge blast in Sevromorsk, one of the key cities for the Russian Navy where nuclear-armed submarines are maintained. The strikes, up to 4,300 kilometers deep inside Russia, simultaneously hit 4 Russian military air bases and the naval base in Sevromorsk. Russia's defense ministry has called it a terrorist attack across 5 regions and claimed that all attacks were repelled.
The sense is pretty clear. You see, Ukraine agreed to start ceasefire a month ago. Russia didn't stop fire. They have been bombing us all this time. And this special operation was aimed at destroying those bombarders, those planes that launch missiles and also air bombs at our cities. It is not about killing someone. It is about preventing the risk for us to be bombed. As our intelligence service reported a couple of days ago, that numerous planes landed on this Olenya airfield in Saratov region, also in many others, and they all carried missiles and bombs. So in a couple of days, they were going to fire Ukraine with a variety of missiles, ballistic missiles, other types of missiles, also drones, and this was a prevention. This is the sense.
This happens to be one of the biggest attacks by Ukraine on Russia in past 40 months of this war that has been ongoing. And 4 major air bases of Russia have been struck, and over 40 aircraft have been reportedly struck by these particular drone attacks. This is the improvised drone attack, which we can see that the trucks were used. In these trucks, the drones were stored, and from a very far away distance, Anjali, this kind of attack was inflicted onto Russia's air bases. And these air bases, which have the strategic aircraft that were being used for attack against Ukraine, have been attacked by Ukraine in this particular area. So Russia supposedly did not expect this kind of an attack from Ukraine amid the talks that were ongoing. And remember, last week only, there were attacks on Ukraine also from Russian side, and over 300 drones were flown from Russia. Around 12 to 13 lives were also lost in those attacks. So since 1 week, this happens to be one of the major attacks that seems to be an escalation from Ukraine. Russia is also expected to retaliate, Anjali, as we've seen through the war. But this kind of an attack, the attack using multiple drones, that too on the trucks, has been seen for the first time, and it has majorly impacted Russia. That's what it seems to be.
And ahead of the peace talks in Istanbul, Ukraine has launched a massive offensive against Russia, escalating the tensions between the two warring nations. After keeping Russia and Turkey in suspense, Ukrainian President Zelensky has confirmed that his defense minister would represent the country in the second round of peace talks with Russian officials. However, Zelensky has firmly stated that Ukraine will not compromise on its independence. He has also called for a full unconditional ceasefire. In fact, he has also called for the release of prisoners by Russia. On the other hand, Russia has stated that it has already formulated its peace terms but won't reveal them ahead of the talks. Meanwhile, Russian media has reported that the Russian delegation is en route to Istanbul. Remember, the talks in Turkey follows a push from US President Trump, who wants this war to end as soon as possible.
Росіяни свій меморандум так і не передали нікому. У нас немає. Турецької сторони немає, також у американської сторони російського документу немає. Попри це, ми спробуємо досягти хоча б якогось прогресу на шляху до миру.